All right, before I get into today's episode, I wanted to warn you guys about buzzed driving. It is just equivalent to drunk driving. And I just wanted to throw this out there. Did you guys know in 2017, over 10,000 people died due to impaired driving fatalities? Like, that's a number that shouldn't have been reached, but it was due to buzzed driving. Drunk driving, look, do not be buzzed, drunk. Don't do anything besides drive. That's all you have to do. When you get behind the wheel of a car, just drive. But anything beforehand or after, yeah, after, cool. All right. If you ain't going anywhere after, cool. But before, don't do nothing. Be that sober friend for your other friends, because you'll hear so many stories and so many cases where others die behind this type of stuff. So don't be buzzed while driving. Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. I think my TV is distracting me, so I'm going to turn my TV off because I don't want any distractions. I just had to do multiple takes of this podcast, and I'm not trying to sit here all night trying to do this podcast and things. So, anyways, I'm gonna get on straight with it and things. Get straight to it. Get straight on with. I don't even know the words I'm trying to say, but who cares? If I mess up, so what? So, anyways, in today's podcast, because I don't think I haven't done a story time podcast yet. I might have and just forgot, but I've told this story like numerous times to people. But for those that haven't heard the story yet, I'm going to be talking about the time I got summoned for jury duty. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, for those out there are like, oh man, I want to get summoned for jury duty. No, you don't. No, you do not. My jury duty, I'm going to tell you guys my jury duty experience, and if you still want to do jury duty afterwards, you're crazy, alright? Just going to say that right now. You are crazy, because if they summoned me for jury duty, I'm like, listen, I am not in the mental state to do a jury duty session all over again. I did that once in my 20s. They called me up like my 40s, 50s, 60s, however old I am, and I'm like, I'm just not mentally stable to do a jury duty. I'm like, if I got to do that all over again, I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm going to be running around that courthouse with my pants on top of my head, screaming some weird stuff. Now, do y'all want to deal with that? Because I'm prepared for it. Like, I'm seriously am. So I'll do some weird stuff to get out of jury duty if I need to. Like, if I'm put in that situation again, that night before, I will write down ideas. Okay, I will use my podcast notebook and write down ideas to get out of jury duty, because I don't want to do that again. I guess they say, like, throughout a lifetime, you only get summoned for it once. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But there's, like, I guess it's like, it's not common to get summoned for it twice. I think it can happen. But I'm like, nah, bruh. Like, I'll figure out every way to get out of jury duty if I need to. So, anyways, so I got summoned for jury duty. They'll send you, like, this little, like postcard, like, type thing. It ain't even in no envelope or anything. Maybe other people might get an envelope, but I just like the way it looked at things. It looked like one of those, like, dentist things that you get in the mail, where it, like, lets you know, like, oh, okay, it's time for a checkup and things. It was like one of those. It wasn't in no envelope or anything. I'm like, what is this? And so, anyways, I got summoned for it. I went and checked in and was just like, okay, I'm showing up and things. And so, anyways, cool. The courthouse wasn't even too, like, far away from the area I lived at. So, it like, I thought it was going to be, like, somewhere downtown Seattle and things. And so I'm like, that's just seriously a waste of time. I'm calling out of work to go downtown to go to jury duty and things. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's the case. And no, the thing is, while you're there at jury duty, that's like pretty much, unless they call you for the first group, maybe it's a little bit shorter and things. But for me, it was a full day. It was a full day of work. I was there from like the time I start work all the way from the time I ended work. I'm like, this was a waste of time, man. Like, the majority of it is seriously, it's a waste of time. Unless they call your name first. But if they call your name, like, for a second group or a third group, oh, you're going to be like, man. So, let me explain that. So, anyways, you get there. check in, all that stuff, and then they put you on in this room with like a bunch of other people and things. So you're in this room, bunch of other people, no entertainment, no TVs, nothing. At least play Judge Judy, Judge Joe Mathis, Judge somebody. Play that on a TV, something. But you're there with like, and it's seriously the most awkward thing ever, unless you know somebody. I did not know anybody there. There was like maybe one other person that looked like they were around the same age as me, but she was like far across the room and stuff. So I'm like, I don't even like, seriously, I don't want to take the time to be sitting here trying to introduce myself to her, because then she's gonna think that I'm trying to come on to her and things. I'm like, no, lady, I'm just bored. Okay, we like, seriously, I'm like, I'll talk to anybody else in here, but I'm like, I'm bored. All right, and I know all these, like, everybody else. But no, it's like, I did have some conversations with some of the guys there. I remember I talked to one of the dudes there about Colin Kaepernick. That was, like, I think that was the second day, though, I was there. But, anyways, like, yeah, eventually you'll, like, make some friends there, like, once when you're a part of your whole jury duty case and things. But, anyways, yeah. They, so, yeah, it's, there, but there's nobody there that you know. Unless you know everybody in your city and things, or in your state, then cool. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. You just sit amongst your friends and just talk with them. But for me, no friends, nobody. I'm sitting there and I listened to music throughout the whole time I was there. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I listened to music. I think I watched some YouTube videos, but overall, my phone battery, because it was an iPhone, it did a countdown thing. So yeah, my phone battery, it's all like, only thing I could really do was just sit down, just listen to music and stuff. And so I was like, alright, cool, like, I don't mind that. Watch a few YouTube videos here and there and things. And so anyways, they called the first group, which I wasn't a part of, thank God, because I guess that group, that case was going to last a week. And I know they only summoned me for 2 days, and so I'm like, no, I can't be here for a week. I got work. I got a bunch of other stuff to tend to and things. I ain't got time to be here for no week. Like, I'm like, nah, like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. But I'm like, I don't want to be here for no week. Like, I don't even like it. And it's like, I'll follow the, like, you could FaceTime me. And, you know, we could do something like that where I'm at home and to come from my own home doing this jury duty thing. But I don't want to be here for no whole week and things. And it's like, and then plus, I know, because I watched that OJ versus the People, and we all know how long they were there. And I'm like, listen, if it was a situation like that, what was that one girl in that show where she snapped and went crazy and started jumping on those tables? Oh, that had been me. That, hands down, I would have been the first person to break. But so anyways, no, they didn't call me for the first case. My case, yeah, it was only the amount of days they said that I was going to be there and things. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Little did they tell me, like, that first day. So I don't even know why they waited, like, the last, like, few minutes of the day to, I mean, it was, like, the thing ended at, like, 2, 3 o'clock and things, so, but it started at 8 that morning, so I'm like, bruh, like, they shouldn't, all that time wasted doing what? Like, that, I'm like, come on, man, like, the judge should have been there already, everybody should have been there already, we should have got through that thing within, like, the first couple of hours. That's what I was thinking. But as the hours dragged on, I managed to take naps. I scared myself out of my sleep. I had my papers in my hand, and I had my head back, and the paper slipped through my hand and fell down. It kind of like scared me and woke me up. So I was just like, then at that point, I'm like, well, now I can't even sleep anymore. Because I'm like, I know I'm going to drop my papers all over the place and scare myself. I don't want people to see that and things. So anyways, then they called my name for the second group. So I guess they have it where it's like they'll call your name, they'll summon you, but they might not call your name. So if they do that, then cool. Kudos to you. But no, they called my name. So anyways, the case I had was a domestic violence case. So it was going to be something I overall think it was, yeah. So I guess like maybe for a domestic violence case, if it's to the extent that it was, like, I guess like some serious moments happen, but I guess it's not going to last that long. Like, I don't know. It depends, I guess, on how bad the case is and things. But anyway, so, yeah, my domestic violence case, it was silly. I'm like, man, there is far more worse things happening in the world. Like, y'all really went to court over this? But so I guess the guy, like, cornered the woman in the house, took her phone, threw it and broke it, took a fork and threw it at her and stuff. Then she had to like run out the house and go to the neighbors and call the police and things. The fact that they took photos of the house, like it was an actual crime scene house. They have photos you see down the hallway. It was funny because you used to look down the hallway, there's the fork on the floor. And I'm like, y'all serious? Like, y'all really took photos of this? Like, that's, wow. 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 That's all I gotta say, because you guys are wasting my time. I could be home making YouTube videos or something. Like, yeah, obviously that doesn't, you know, really matter in things. But so anyways, so the first day, they have it where they're like introducing everybody. They introduced the, so they had the cop there the first day, and he was telling his side of the story. And then the victim and the suspect, they were there and things. So we were all just kind of like, you know, just sitting there and things, like just, you know, like kind of, I guess like like prior, before they introduce everybody, so they kind of like interview you to like ask you and things, like, you know, so they'll ask you some questions like, oh, how do you feel about domestic violence, or did the domestic violence ever like get involved in your life and things, or what side of the story do you see more than the other, like do you take more of the victim side or the suspect side, like what? And so I answered it wrong because they kept me there, and so I was like, bruh, like, but I don't know, like it was weird. So I'm gonna tell you guys the ending, because the ending was probably, that's like the biggest plot twist that I've ever had to deal with in my whole life. So anyways, so yeah, first day, so they're introducing everybody. The cop, he said his part of the story, and so after that, it was like, yeah, the thing only lasted about like 15 to 30 minutes. It was there for hours, and my case was only 15 to 30 minutes. So I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I wasted my time. I would have rather went to work. At least I know the people there. Here, I don't know anybody. Like, I'm like, I would rather work, sweat through hot weather and everything than to be here, because I'm like, I would not, like, man, the hardest day of work at my job, I'd rather do that than jury duty. So anyway, second day comes around, and then yeah, the case, it started that morning. It's like, soon as I pretty much got there, we waited a little bit. Judge, victim, suspect, they all show up and things, and so yeah, that's when there was like, had them doing like their opening statements, and then the middle part, and then we kept going back and forth in these like room, talking amongst each other, all like, oh, okay, so they had this and they had that, so you know, we go in this little room, talk, we had a lunch break, there's like no restaurants in the area and things, there wasn't even a McDonald's or anywhere, so I had to go to Cold Stone's ice cream, and I ate me some ice cream with some M&Ms. And I was just like, oh, okay, dope. You know, I went back to the, because it started raining. It was cold outside and things. So I went back into the courtroom. And I was just in the room just chilling by myself and things. I was just like, man, I'm cool with this. Like, if I'm by myself, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But with people, I was just like, man, I don't even know y'all like that. And I'm like, plus it's like, we ain't even really having like a friendly conversation and things. And so we were at some point in time, like I know we were like talking for a little bit and things, just like about our lives and stuff. And I was just like, but no. So no, here's the funny thing, okay? I'm the only like young one there. I'm the only like in my whole like in the whole jury duty, I'm the only like 20-year-old there. Everybody else was like in their like 40s plus. And I'm like, they all talk about like how they've been working at this place or doing this. I'm like, oh, I work at a cafe and I make YouTube videos. Like that's about it. Like, I don't know what else to really tell you guys. Like, I just started working not too long ago. So yeah, that's my life. All right. So anyways, yeah, it was just freaking. I'm like, man, it was just so awkward, them like being there and things. And so anyways. So they have us, this is funny because they have us like sitting there like listening to the statements and all that crap. I started falling asleep and I started getting tired, and I was just like, I felt like my eyes closing. I hurry up and wake up and things. I know somebody had to see me. I know they did. I know somebody, the lawyer, the victim, the suspect, the judge, somebody had to see me. But they probably understood. They was like, yo, this man's been here all day. He looks tired. He looks like he doesn't even want to be here. So we're not even gonna like unless he starts snoring and things, but he ain't snoring, so we just gonna let it slide. Shout out to the judge, the lawyers, everybody there, okay? Because they allowed me to rest my eyes for a few seconds, okay? So anyways, So then it came time to find the person guilty or not guilty. But this is when the plot twist happens. They call me up, and I'm looking around like, what's going on here? I ain't had no part of this case. I don't even know who these guys are. I'm like, they could, but no, there's this like juror number, whatever my number was, number 23, because that's my age. I just made up a random number. I don't overall remember my number of things. I think it was 16 or some crap like that. But there's this like, juror number 23, can you please stand? And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, wait a second, I'm 23. I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head like, yo, I've never had like this kind of like spotlight before. Like, why am I the only one being called up and things? And so, yeah, he was just like, can you approach the judge or whatever he said and things. And so he was just all like, due to the fact of you being an alternative juror, you're allowed to leave right now and things. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second, hold on. I mean, I didn't say that. I was overall happy, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second. They had me here for 2 days just for them to excuse me at the point in time where I'm all like, okay, this is where it matters. This is where I'm like, okay, where I'm like finding the person guilty or not guilty. They excused me before I even could have done that. So, and then the crazy part about it is like, they excused me, so I was allowed to leave, and I'm thinking in my head like, well, dang, should I maybe go and turn back and see who was found, see if he was found guilty or not guilty? But I'm like, no, what if they kicked me out? So I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm like, man, I done walked outside, then that's when they hit me. I'm like, wait a second, I don't even know if they found the man guilty or not guilty. What was this? I'm like, you had me here for 2 days just for you guys to excuse me because I was in whatever juror, I was an alternative juror or something like that, where there was just like, I guess another juror supposed to show up, but he didn't, so I was a stand-in. But then there was just like, oh, since it's the end of the case, you don't even need to be here anymore. I'm like, are y'all serious? Why would y'all do this to me? Why would you guys have me show up for this thing? And I'm like, I'm like, so at that point, I was a little frustrated. I was a little mad. And I was outside that courthouse. So I was just like, you know what? You guys will never get my business. I'm like, you guys will never, ever get my business. I can't believe this. So anyways, yeah, I'm freaking going home. And I'm like, this was dumb. This was stupid. But then they called. I think, yeah, I was like, they called. And I didn't listen to the voice message until like a few days later and things. And, yeah, it was, they found the guy not guilty and things. But I don't know, that dude, the way he was looking, he looked like the type that would throw a fork at somebody. I'm like, nah, he definitely, that's something where he's done that before. Throw a fork? You got all of these things that you could throw at a person. You throw a fork. That man's thrown forks in his life. He's done that before. He's lived that life before. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, where I'm from, like, the way he acted would have just been childish. Like, the girl was in court crying and things. So I'm like, this had to have been, like, an ongoing thing. Because I'm like, why are you crying? Like, go out, get you a brand new phone, all right? And don't give the man any forks. Don't give him none of that stuff. Give him plastic forks, if anything, or sporks. Do some stuff like that. But I'm like, y'all in here crying. I'm like, man, y'all being serious about nothing. Then the lawyer for the, I think, was it for the, because no, I think, who was who? Like, I can't remember which lawyer was, like, for the both parties. But it was the woman lawyer. She seemed like she was getting frustrated and upset. The other guy was all cocky. He was just like, well, I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm about to just kill this case and things. And the other girl, she's just like, yeah, the woman lawyer, she's all like, seemed like she's getting annoyed and frustrated and stuff. I'm like, I should be the one annoyed. I should be the one frustrated. Y'all called me here for what? For nothing. And I'm like, man, this is silly. And so, anyways, yeah, they called me and they let me know. It's just like, oh yeah, he was found not guilty and things. I'm like, man, y'all couldn't have had me just sit down and just wait or something to, like, you know, it gave me that opportunity to, like, sit down, like, listen to the rest of the case and things. Like, no, y'all gonna excuse me when it's the moment of time, the moment of truth and things. And so then here's the crazy part about it. They only send you, like, did they send me $10 or $30? They send you between that region of money. They don't send you a whole lot for jury duty. They figure, oh, you didn't do much, so we ain't gonna send you much. I'm like, no, I did do much. Y'all had me sit in a room, all right, for all them hours doing nothing. Okay, then on top of that, you had me go to a case where it wasn't even like, I've seen far more worse things happen in my life. a fork and a phone being broken, like, I'm like, that to me, I'm like, that's not like forks being thrown, phones broken. I seen that my whole life. I just thought that was just a way of living. Okay, then third, you kicked me out the case before I could even vote to see if the man's guilty or not guilty and things, because y'all found me as an alternative juror or whatever they said I was and things. I'm like, man, y'all will never ever get my business. So anyways, I mean, that's the whole, like, you don't ever want to go to court and things, but I'm like, man, this is, I will never in my life do jury duty again. I will plead insanity before I do jury duty again, because I'm like, this is not normal at all. I hated it. And that's why I'm like, if you want to do jury duty by the end of this podcast, you go like, oh, I want to do that. That sounds fun. No, it is not. You get there, and I'm telling you right now, you are going to lose your mind. So, yeah, jury duty, it is not fun, and I won't recommend it for anyone. It was funny because my mom, she's never done jury duty before. And after that, after I told her everything, she said she did not want to do jury duty anymore. So I convinced one person in the world. I probably convinced multiple people. It was funny after that. Then it just seemed like a lot of people. I remember it was a customer at my job. She said she got summoned for jury duty. And I'm like, dang. I told her my story and things. I'm like, she was just overall like wasn't looking forward to it and stuff. I'm like, no, nobody should. Like, jury duty is just, man, I would not want to go through that. Not again. They summoned me again. I'm like, I'm pleading insanity. I get up to that case. I'll get up to that place wearing the tightest of the tightest clothes I possibly can. I'll wear like a small suit where like the pants and the shirt is like going past my ankles and wrist. I'll wear, what kind of hat can I wear? I'll wear like some really dumb. I got like a couple of bucket. I'll wear like my camo bucket hat. Get some, like, I don't know, get, like, some, like, old glasses, like, get, like, all pairs, like, get both pairs of my glasses, have one pair sitting on top of the hat, then the other one's on my eyes, but have them flipped upside down, go in there with probably some basketball sneakers and things, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to that place looking crazy. And if they ask me, like, if it's another domestic violence case, I'm like, they ask me how I feel about domestic violence. I'm like, they should be sent to Mars, all right, and burnt within they get all their skin burnt. I'm like, I just start saying some old crazy stuff. I'm like, they need to meet Darth Vader and get a red lightsaber across the head. And I'm like, they'll be looking at me. I'm like, oh no, this man, we can't have him because he's gonna be a distraction to some. Honestly, I would. Like, you put me in a situation like that again, I'm going all out, okay? I'll pull out a selfie stick, start taking photos in the middle of the case and things. They'll have no choice but to kick me out. So, anyways, yeah, go ahead, summon me for jury duty again. I tell you this much. Somebody's going to get a show while they there. I'm going to cause somebody to laugh, all right? So, anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've been enjoying this podcast. I'm going to find some more things to talk about. I'm probably going to record another podcast tonight. I might upload it tomorrow. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new. Or, this isn't, I mean, if you're on my YouTube channel, like and subscribe if you're new to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned for some more podcasts and stuff. Thank you for listening on the platforms that you're listening to on the words I'm trying to say. They're not making any sense. But anyways, yeah, thank you just for supporting and stuff. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching or listening. I don't know what y'all doing. But anyways, thank you and peace.